This is the age-old question. Does money really make you happy? And it's something we've all thought about, whether you're stressing about bills, dreaming of a luxury vacation, or just wanting a little breathing room. Money is always in the background. In this video, I want to explore this very question. Does having more money actually make you happy? And more importantly, how much is enough? Of course, we often hear two very different perspectives on this. On one hand, you have the rich and famous saying things like, money doesn't equal happiness. Think about Jim Carrey, who once said,
I've often said that I wished people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion.
But on the other hand, everyday working people like you and me, say that just having a little bit more would ease so much stress and create room for happiness. And honestly, I get that. It's hard to be happy when you're barely getting by. Which is it? Does money not buy happiness? Or is it the key to living a happier life? Well, as with most things in life, the answer lies, in my opinion, somewhere in between. And believe it or not, science actually has something to say about this. So get this, research suggests that after earning a certain amount, around $100,000 a year, happiness plateaus. And one of the most famous studies on this comes from Princeton University, led by Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton, two highly respected economists. They found that emotional well-being, aka how you feel each and every day, doesn't significantly improve once your income hits beyond a certain threshold. And that threshold happens to be anywhere between $75,000 and $100,000 a year. But it's kind of a strange thought though, right? That no matter how much money you make above that threshold, it won't make you much happier. But again, that's only part of the story. Think about it this way. Up until that $100,000 mark, money is making a huge difference. It's paying the bills, keeping the lights on, buying food, helping you afford healthcare, and maybe even allow you to do the things you wouldn't have otherwise done because you weren't able to afford them. But once those basic needs are covered, the direct relationship between money and happiness starts to weaken. But let's dig a little bit deeper here, because I think this $100,000 threshold often gets misunderstood. It's not just making more than that won't make your life better, because obviously that's not true. It's just that money alone isn't enough. So let's make this real. I don't know about you, but when I think about the things that make me truly happy, it's not just stuff, it's the experiences. Things like vacations, spending time with my family, and moments that create memories like going to the farmer's market or even just going on a nice walk together. There's actually research backing this up too. Studies from the University of California have shown that people who spend money on experiences like travel, concerts, and even just going out for dinner with friends tend to be happier than those who spend money on material possessions. So don't even think about buying the new iPhone if you think it will make you happy. And that kind of makes sense as I say it, right? Experiences last in your memory. They add to your sense of connection and purpose, while the thrill of buying a new phone or a new car tends to fade pretty quickly. So money can buy happiness, I guess, if you maybe spend it the right way, right? But here's where it gets tricky, because before we can even think about vacations and concerts, what about just being able to afford the basics? A home, utilities, groceries, healthcare. These aren't luxuries, they're essential needs. And when we talk about happiness, this is where money plays, in my opinion, the biggest role. According to a survey from the American Psychological Association, about 72% of adults report feeling stressed about money at least some point in their life. And that stress isn't just a small annoyance, it impacts your physical health, your mental health, and your relationships as well. If you've ever struggled to make ends meet, you know the kind of toll that it takes on your well-being. For me, I literally have to take a shower or go on a walk if I ever feel anxious. I couldn't imagine feeling that way every single day, no matter what I do, because I know I used to and it sucked. And I know that when you're in this mode, just like me, you are not thinking about being happy. You're thinking about survival. And this is where money is essential. Having enough money to cover your basic needs, to live without constant fear of a financial emergency, is the foundation for happiness. Without that stability, happiness becomes a lot harder to find. No matter what the guru or wellness coach tells you, it's not even a frame of mind at that point. It's either you have the stress or you don't. And that's based off of if you have the money or you don't. Now let's talk about something else that money touches, and it's sort of a different way. your relationships. For example, having kids costs money, not just some money. Let's put it this way. Kids are expensive, okay? Estimates put the cost of having a child from birth to age 18 at over $230,000 in the US. But they bring in an overwhelming amount of joy and happiness into many people's lives that in most cases far outweigh the cost. In fact, many parents don't even think about the cost of having children and just have them. That's how much love they have and get from their children. It's not just kids either. Having close relationships, whether it's friends, family, or a partner, is one of the most significant predictors of your happiness long term. According to a famous 75-year Harvard study on adult development, and while money can help support those relationships by easing stress or giving you that ability to spend more time together, it's not the money that creates happiness. It's the bonds and what you do with your time that brings memories and happiness. But here's where things start to get tricky. In today's world, especially with social media and hustle culture, it's easy to start equating your self-worth with your net worth. And we see people constantly flexing their wealth, their cars, their homes, their watches, even who they hang out with. And it makes us feel like we're falling behind in some way if we don't have those same things or same friends. And this is not something new. Back in the day, this was called the Jones effect. And now it's more like the Kim K effect, or fill in your favorite celebrity in their effect. And this mindset of self-worth equals net worth is extremely dangerous for your mental health and emotional health. I mean, even your relationship with money will get altered. You see, there are countless stories of wealthy individuals, people who seemingly have everything put together. Meanwhile, behind the scenes are struggling with deep loneliness, depression, and unhappiness. And that goes to show that even if you're sitting on millions or billions of dollars, if your happiness is tied to something external, like money, it's very fragile and you can lose it just as quickly as you gain it. And as someone who works in social media, it's been super important to me to avoid posting only the ups in my life. I mean, sure, I got married, had a kid, I bought a home, but you won't see me flexing my Tesla in every post. But I don't want to attach who I am with how much money I make or made, but instead with the memories I'm making or have made with my friends, my family, the people I love most. But there's a pretty big elephant in the room still. And it's something we have to talk about because hustle culture is not going away anytime soon. You know what I'm talking about. The idea that you've got to grind 24/7 to make it, sacrifice your time, all your health, your relationships for what? More money? Maybe making $10,000 a month or becoming the next young Forbes millionaire? People are just working themselves into the ground, trying to keep up. And for what? So they can buy things they don't need to impress people they don't even care about? It's crazy, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting financial success and removing those burdens of worrying about bills, but when money becomes the only thing that you're chasing, you risk losing everything else that makes life worthwhile. I couldn't imagine sacrificing my relationships with my friends, my family for an extra $10,000 a month or even $100,000 a month. Sure, it'd be nice, and I'm slowly working towards it, but I'd rather have it take an extra couple of months or years to get there than get there next month or in the next few days, but not have my family or friends by my side by the end of it. So we came here to answer the question, does money make you happy? And the answer that I think is the most honest and true is yes, but only to a point. Money is essential for survival, and it can provide freedom, security, experiences that would likely lead to happiness. But after a certain point, it's not about how much you have, it's about how you use it. So if you're chasing money in the hopes that it will make you happy, remember this, money is a tool. It can help you build a better life, but it's still up to you to fill that life with what truly matters.